Earlier, I spoke with Susan Lieberman. She is the executive director with the conservation policy at the Wildlife Conservation Society. Susan attended the conference in London. She strongly feels that illegal poaching can be tackled and that China can play a key role in wildlife conservation.
It's horrendous. You're talking up to 100 elephants a day, 20,000 in a year. Forest elephants down by 65%. But I actually believe we can tackle this problem. This is not like drugs that people have to have drugs or trafficking in arms and human trafficking, which are horrendously difficult problems. What we need to do is really three things. We need to stop the poaching, make sure there's enforcement, rangers on the ground have the tools they need, and we need to get serious about enforcement, and we need to stop the buying and the demand. In particular for ivory, people need to just not buy ivory. And it sounds overly simplistic, but those are the three things that need to happen. And we believe that with this level of attention, really governments have never at this level, not just in London, President Obama signed a new U.S. strategy on the problem day before yesterday. Governments pulling together and saying, this isn't something, oh, it's just about endangered species. What a pity. This is organized crime, serious transnational crime, and governments are going to pull together to end it. Governments and conservation organizations are going to pull together. I actually do believe we can deal with this. We've done it before, and we can do it again.
Susan, you mentioned 100 elephants a day, which is a shocking number, but a lot of people are unaware of the human cost as well. More than 1,000 rangers killed in recent years trying to stop poachers. So what can be done on that side of the equation?
No, I really appreciate your bringing this up, because as horrendous it is for elephants, it's horrendous for these rangers, for their families, and local communities, local villagers who live near the wildlife. These are not necessarily the local villagers who are poaching. These are people coming in from outside, organized criminals, threatening them, killing people, etc. A number of things can be done. One thing is to put sufficient resources into national parks and other protected areas, properly monitor, make sure the rangers, you have situations where rangers don't have weapons, sometimes don't even have boots. They're going up against criminals, organized gangs with automatic weapons and helicopters. Make sure that the rangers have what they need. And governments who want to do the right thing, their people, their rangers, their eco guards, have the tools they need to enforce properly.
In January, as you know, China took a big step forward, destroying 6 tons of ivory. Patrick Bergen of the African Wildlife Foundation called this a courageous step. The Foreign Secretary from Britain, William Hague, also complimentary of China's efforts as well today. Just how important is China in ending this horrendous trade?
China's key, and China can be a champion. China can be the hero here. Right now, the majority of the ivory is going to China, and a lot of other illegal wildlife is going to China. And China can turn around and crack down on this even more, both on Chinese citizens who are businesses working on logging, et cetera, on infrastructure in Africa, as well as in China itself. And China can close its market. Even though international trade in ivory is banned, if it's in China right now, it's not banned that people can sell ivory. So all this illegal ivory hides beneath the small amount of ivory that might have been imported legally. China, it was tremendously bold to destroy their stockpile. And I think China can go the next step and educate consumers in China, who many are not even aware that you have to kill an elephant to get the ivory. And China can also close its domestic market and really crack down on the criminals. The government's not complicit, but the government can do more in really cracking down on enforcement. I think China can do it.